Now, for further analysis, we're joined from Beirut by the military and strategic expert, General Saeed Al-Quzah. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to Q News. Let me here start by asking you, what should we be expecting to happen in the upcoming hours? And will we witness a de-escalation, or will the war intensify further between Iran and Israel and the United States?
Good afternoon to you, and good evening, good afternoon to the viewers. What we are witnessing, or what we should expect to witness in the upcoming hours, is in Iranian bid to respond to just to white faces, unfortunately, as if Iran would. If Iran targets any American interest in the whole world, this would be considered as a declaration of war by Iran against the U.S., and hence will be having two major powers, which are the United States and Israel, attacking Israel to destroy its military bases and missile ballistic facilities, as Iran has nothing to do following that the weakening of its arms, but their missiles and the air drones. Yesterday, the Iranian nuclear program was destroyed, surely not 100%, but being deviated, and to evade the dangers of the nuclear bomb for too many years to come. And if Iran would target any interest of the United States will use the full strength to bombard and strike all the military sites, either in the Navy and the military bases and the IRGC. So that means a comprehensive war by the United States. Therefore, it is not for the favor of Iran's interest to provoke U.S. Certainly, Iran will continue its assault with Israel, but it might do some sort of an operation against the military bases, but this will yield a highly cost for Iran.
Right. Does Iran actually poses a nuclear bomb as the United States claimed so far?
The United States did not claim that Iran has a public nuclear bomb, but the U.S. it's only claimed that about a few weeks to acquire a nuclear bomb. Repeatedly, Iran, or rather the United States, has a statement that Iran should not acquire any nuclear bomb or to develop the nuclear missiles, and Iran never responded. The U.S. gave a 60-day deadline, and
so, Mr. Quzah, here, if I may ask you, why was the rush, or what's the rush for? Why did they hit Iran that quickly? And was Iran really an imminent threat?
this is what the U.S. and Israel stated, that Iran was about to acquire a nuclear bomb, which means posing a threat to Israel, Europe, and the whole region. As we've heard, the European leaders cited that Iran's acquiring a nuclear bomb that would threaten Europe. The whole world should be aligned behind the United States to refrain Iran from acquiring a nuclear bomb by all means, either by peaceful through negotiation started by the United States or by the militarily strikes as happened yesterday, that Iran would not respond to the American demands, and we repeatedly said 100 times that if Iran did not submit to the American conditions, this would lead to be exposed by a direct military strike by the United States. And if the United States sees that Iran will resume its process of enrichment and try to pursue producing a nuclear bomb, and sees also that the currently regime of Iran that would put a threat to reproduce a nuclear bomb, I think that the U.S. would not hesitate to replace such a certain regime with another one.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would be the situation in the Arab region following this U.S. strike on the Iranian nuclear facilities?
If you meant what would Iran's proxies to do for a revenge in response to the American strikes against Iran, let's start by Hamas. Hamas has not the capabilities to defend itself, so it won't do any retaliation. The Houthis threaten to halt the navigation and targeting the American bases. And when the Houthis did this before, we've seen that the United States made a military assault that forced the Houthis to stop targeting the ships. So it is likely for the U.S. to do another American strikes to put a limit or to pose such a threat. It is not expected for Hamas to repeat, or rather the Lebanese army or the proxies of Iran by Hezbollah would repeat such a mistake. And the Lebanese president and the Lebanese army said would not let to receive another war confronted or opened by Hezbollah, as the limited capabilities of Hezbollah wouldn't do anything else but to destroy or sabotage the Lebanese territories, and the Syrian regime has no exist. But with respect to the Iraqi militias, and I think that the military or the Iraqi people is fully aware and seen what happened in Lebanon and Gaza and Yemen, and the Iraqi government would not wish for the Iranian militias to be indulged or dragged into a war or to drag Iraq to devastation and war. Therefore, I exclude for any faction or one of the Iraqi partners to do some sort of a symbolic operation against the military bases. But if this would expand, the response will be a devastation, and the U.S. would retaliate, which is a matter that the Iraqi government did not wish to see this and to pursue, not to be indulged to such an incident.
Well, could these mutual strikes eventually lead to negotiations, comprehensive agreement, and or rather to ignite further war into the region?
If the Iranian regime wants to preserve to be exist and its presence, so will go into the negotiation table by responding to the American demands. But I personally see that at the end of such a war will be having a new Iran that we never seen before since 1979, as the Iranian regime brought in 1979 to be some sort of a deterrent or a shield against the Shiite expansion came from Afghanistan, wouldn't have any role in the region if they wish to produce the nuclear arms and to stick the military missiles. So the targets will be easily strikes, as we've seen by Israel did bombardment within Iran, and those factions do not possess the Iranian nuclear. So they only did the bombardment for to be weakened and to allow the Iranian people to topple the current Iranian regime.
Well, that was General Saeed Al-Quzah from Beirut, the military and strategic expert. We thank you so much